story about how do you use all of these 5 things: people, associations, agencies, institutions, the environment, and the economy. Time and money exchange. So in Mesa, Arizona, where we were working, there was a neighborhood that identified that they had a problem of hunger in the neighborhood. They had a problem of hunger. You know, the money ran out before the month did to buy food. And so they looked at, okay, they didn't start by going, okay, let's go to the food bank, or let's find out if the city or somebody will give us a grant to get something. They said, what can we do with what we already have? And they identified in this neighborhood that we live in Arizona, Mesa, Arizona. The environment. We can grow produce. We could have a community garden year round and grow produce in the neighborhood. And that could address the issue of hunger. You know, when I moved here from Indianapolis, that white stuff gets in the way of some of the years. So you can't do that all year round. Here you can, so you could have a community garden. So they looked in their neighborhood and said, okay, let's start a community garden. There was an agency right here. And that agency, the neighborhood didn't need its services. What they needed was its vacant lot. So they went to him and said, you have this big vacant lot. Can we borrow that for the neighborhood so we can have a community garden? And the agency said, sure, we're not thinking of using it for a while. You can have the community garden. One of the ways, again, using the environment that they irrigate in Mesa is through irrigation ditches. So there was an irrigation ditch there. So they could water the garden for almost free. So they had the land, they had the water. The other thing they had were a bunch of houses. And what are in the houses? People. And people that had the gift of knowing how to garden. So this was the first activity that kind of brought out the Hispanic males in the neighborhood, actually. Because that was something they had a passion for, that's something they knew how to do. And then up here there were some businesses on the street that were willing to donate some money or seeds and tools so they could begin to do it. So they started a community garden using all those gifts that I just talked about in this neighborhood. And so they could begin to do that. You know, they do one plot with tomatoes, another with beans, another with carrots, and then they'd trade them so they could all have the food they needed. Now, quick little story here. Very important. There was this gentleman over here, Bill. And Bill was the neighborhood homeless guy. He was the guy that sort of hung out in the alley. And what we do with people that are different, that just sort of don't fit in, is we kind of label them as strangers. So Bill was the stranger in the neighborhood. And what do we tell kids about strangers? Stranger danger. Don't talk to strangers. So Bill was the stranger in the neighborhood. But they started, because he was viewed as just, again, that dumb guy that was just in the shadow.
It's us.
Sorry. That's okay.
It's like a personal thing.
Okay. So anyway, but as they started to go to the community garden, Bill started to get closer and closer to the community garden, checking it out, seeing what they were doing. And finally, one guy, when he got close enough, one guy said, Bill, get away here from here. There's kids here. Get away. And Bill said, no, wait a minute. I'm a third-generation farmer. I grew up on a farm. My dad grew up on a farm. My grandpa grew up on a farm. And if you just move those things from that way to this way, you could triple the amount of vegetables you could grow in that garden. And so very quickly, Bill moved from being the dumb homeless guy to the master gardener for this garden. He was the master gardener. And all of a sudden, I was there one day, and somebody, Home Depot or somebody had donated a tractor, a little trailer, and he was driving down the street with the tractor with about 6 kids in the back of the tractor. So he went from being stranger danger to the master gardener and a friend in the neighborhood, because finally he had a chance to share a gift.